afternoon, the Midday News. I am Babatunde Fanopo. President Bola Tinubu has sympathized with the military and the families of the 6 soldiers who lost their lives during the assault on January 4, 2025. The tragic terrorist attack took place at the Nigerian Army base in Sabongida, Dambuwa local government area of Borno State. In a statement issued by his Special Advisor on Information and Strategy, Bayo Ononuga, the President commended the bravery and sacrifice of the fallen soldiers. The statement states that their sacrifice in defending the nation will forever be honored and remembered, underscoring the nation's indebtedness to those who paid the ultimate price for its security. The President also praised the Nigerian Armed Forces for their swift and decisive response to the attack, highlighting the air component's effective retaliatory strikes. He stated that the resolute action by the Army demonstrates the capacity and readiness of the military to confront and defeat threats to the nation's security. The President also appealed to Nigerians, including media, to rally behind the military's efforts to restore peace and stability across the nation. In the meantime, the police command in Anambra State has confirmed the kidnap of 2 Catholic nuns allegedly kidnapped by yet-to-be-identified unknown gunmen along Ufuma Road, Orumba North local government area of the state. The command's public relations officer, SP Tochukwu Ikenga, confirmed the kidnap incident in a statement issued in Onitsha and made available to newsmen. Ikenga noted that the incident happened on Tuesday evening when the nuns were returning from a vocational service meeting in Ogboji. He added that the Commissioner of Police, Mr. Nage Itam, alongside the Deputy Commissioner of Police in charge of operations, visited the scene for a spot assessment. He stated that the command was already working with some clues for the possible arrest of the suspects and rescue of the victims. The administration of President Bola Tinubu is currently under pressure to dump the food import waiver that it announced in July last year. Multiple sources at the presidency said the pressure has been coming from the private sector, who claimed that opening up the country to food import would undermine their investment and worsen the unemployment rate in Nigeria. Some private sector operators confirmed these, describing the food import waiver policy as a double-edged sword that may bring down the prices of imported commodities but would adversely impact local production. One of the sources at the presidency, who spoke with newsmen in confidence due to lack of authorization to speak on the matter, said a lot of media outfits have been publishing on the failure of the government to implement the waiver on food imports. According to him, the real reason why the government is slowing it down is the need to protect local companies, adding that many local companies and groups like Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industries have put pressure on the federal government not to import food, as that is not a solution. He said the focus should be to increase local production. Meanwhile, the National Assembly has taken a swipe at the federal government over what it called poor implementation of capital projects in 2024 budget, saying the situation was unpalatable. It also expressed serious concern over the huge discrepancies in the size of recurrent expenditure relative to capital expenditure and the low level of fund releases for capital projects for ministries, departments, and agencies in the 2024 budget currently ongoing. Consequently, both the Senate and the House of Representatives have asked the economic team to, as a matter of urgency, release more funds for capital projects so that a great majority of Nigerians could feel the impact of government. The decisions of the National Assembly were sequel to a joint sitting of the chairmen of Senate and House committees on appropriations and the Presidential Economic Team on the consideration of the 2025 Appropriation Bill, with Senator Olamilekan Adeola and Abubakar Bichi, chairmen of Senate and House committees, respectively, presiding. The position of the National Assembly was taken after the report of the economic team, led by the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, showed that overall, so far, only 25% of capital expenditure was implemented against 43% for recurrent. The leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, has rejected the federal government's request for the resumption of his trial. Recall that on September 24, a federal high court judge, Binta Nyako, recused herself from Kanu's case after an oral application by the defendant and remit the case file back to the chief judge. Kanu directly told Nyako that he no longer had confidence in her handling of his trial. However, John Soho, chief judge of the Federal High Court, reverted the file to Nyako on the ground that Kanu's application must be brought formally before the court through a motion on notice. As a result, addressed to the Deputy Chief Registrar, Adegboyega Awomolo, Prosecution's Counsel asked the court to fix a date for the commencement of trial. But opposing the request for a trial date, Alo Ejimako, counsel to Kanu, in a letter dated December 9, said the ruling of the judge recusing herself from the case subsist. According to him, the defendant takes serious exception to the said letter and vigorously objects to the request by the complainant for a date for continuation of hearing of the criminal case before Justice Binta Murtala Nyako. And on to sports, English Premier League club West Ham has confirmed the appointment of former Chelsea boss Graham Potter as its new head coach. The 49-year-old joins the Hammers on a 2.5-year contract. Potter isn't a stranger to English football after his stint at Swansea City, Brighton and Hove Albion. He left Chelsea in 2023. West Ham United is delighted to welcome Graham Potter as the club's new head coach. The 49-year-old joins the Hammers on a 2.5-year contract and will take charge of his new team for the first time when the Irons travel to Aston Villa in the FA Cup third round on Friday evening. A highly respected and sought-after coach, Potter has been awaiting the right opportunity after leaving his last role at Chelsea in April 2023 and was the board's unanimous choice to take the club forward in line with its objectives and ambitions. Potter, whose progressive style and flexible tactical approach previously impressed at Swedish club Östersund, Swansea City, and Brighton and Hove Albion, has a passion for a return to Premier League management and is relishing the opportunity to work with West Ham United's talented squad of international players, the club statement read. The United States Mission in Nigeria has said it will close its operation today to honor former President Jimmy Carter. The U.S. mission stated this in a post on its official X handle. A statement by the mission reminiscent former President Jimmy Carter, a tireless advocate for peace, democracy, and human rights. Carter, who died on Sunday, December 29, 2024, at the age of 100, served a single term from 1977 to 1981 and was widely praised for his post-presidential humanitarian efforts, for which he was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 2002. The body of the late president was transferred on Tuesday in a grand and solemn military ceremony to the U.S. Capitol. where it will lie in state until a national funeral later this week. His body arrived at the snow-covered U.S. Capitol, where it will remain until Thursday after a full day of ceremonious travel that began in his native Georgia. Still on the foreign scene, gunmen attempted to storm the presidential complex in Chad's capital, N'Djamena, sparking a battle that left 18 attackers and one security personnel member dead. Reporters heard gunfire near the site and saw tanks on the street, while security sources reported that armed men had tried to overrun the complex. The government later said 19 people were killed in the fighting, of which 18 were members of the 24-strong commando unit that launched the assault. Hours after the shooting, Kolamala appeared in a video posted to Facebook, surrounded by soldiers and with a gun on his belt, saying the situation is completely under control, that the destabilization attempt was put down. The security source said the attackers were members of the Boko Haram jihadist group, but Kolamala later said they were probably not terrorists, describing them as drunken pied nickels, a reference to a French comic featuring hapless crooks. He said they attacked 4 guards before entering the presidential complex, where they were easily overpowered, adding that the surviving assailants were completely drugged. Landlocked Chad is under military rule and faces regular attacks by Boko Haram, especially in the western Lake Chad region that borders Cameroon, Nigeria, and Niger Republic. And with that, we've come to the end of the Midday News on OSBC TV. Join us at 3 for the state news. Good afternoon.